All right, how's everybody doing today? I'm Jeremy Langlois, coming to you from Houmas House Estate and Gardens. And man, things are popping off here today. We have so much going on. So we're just going to kind of jump in and get started. The first thing, obviously, it's not just me today. I have my friend here. Guys, I want y'all to say hello to my friend, Miss Michelle Newman. Michelle Newman is a traveler, a travel writer. She has food, cooking shows. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I come from a TV, journalism, media background, and I am thrilled to be here to learn some of your secrets.
And we're thrilled to have you. You know, Michelle was, when we first got started a little over a year ago, and when me and Jesse did our very first video, and it was very kind of amateurish, I guess. We just fired up a cell phone. Michelle reached out to us right away, and she was like, I think what y'all are doing are great, but I have some tips for you. And you really gave us great tips. Like one of the things you told us about was doing our little teaser, how we introduced the dish we're going to do a couple days before and put that online. She gave us a bunch of tips. So I just wanted to, since I have you here, thank you for that. And you've been such a champion of ours, so I really appreciate it. Not only that, y'all, but we also have our first live studio audience. Don't believe me? Y'all make some noise. What? So yeah, we happen to have a group here today. They came by to check us out, so we're so excited. Like always, if you have any questions, please feel to hit us up in the comments. Let us know. And also, my audience, if you have any questions at any point, we're happy to talk and figure it out and talk about what we're doing. So this is what we're doing. We're getting, of course, Michelle, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is next Thursday. So we've been doing Thanksgiving dishes all this week. And one of the things that have become more common on the Louisiana Thanksgiving table has been a root beer glazed ham. And so root beer is flavored with sassafras. And did you know that, gumbo filet, the filet and gumbo, that's made of sassafras too? Did you know that?
Didn't the Indians find that in the swamp and they showed the settlers how to dry it and use it in their food?
Yes, ma'am. It's 100% from our Native American ancestry that we got the gift of sassafras and using in our cuisine. So all these flavors it's taking that flavor that we're very common with, which happens to be in the form of root beer, it just pairs so perfectly with this ham that we're doing. So I'm just going to kind of jump in. We'll just do some talking as we get going, and we'll just cook it up. So the first thing we're doing, any root beer that you got, there's actually a bunch of local brands. If you can find that, that's fantastic. But I'm just going to start by dumping. We're making the glaze. So this is a bottle of root beer that I'm going to dump in here, and I'm going to throw just a couple simple ingredients just to start perfuming this and getting it good. You know, we got some cloves here. You can't do ham without some cloves, so we got a few cloves here. So Michelle, this is pepper jelly, and this is something that we use oftentimes. It's like a savory jelly. Of course it's sweet because it's a jam, but this actually has jalapenos. It's made by the Tabasco company, so it has that nice spicy kick in it as well. So this is going to go perfect in here because you'll see we're starting to balance this between sweet and savory. We got some spice, we got lots of sweetness, we got Creole mustard, which is a whole grain mustard. If you don't have Creole mustard, use Dijon, y'all, it's perfect. So we're kind of marrying those flavors together.
Smells good already.
Oh man, fantastic. And we're going to throw some brown sugar in there, and then this is a cinnamon stick and a couple fresh bay leaves right off our bay leaf trees. So I'm going to crank this up and high, add a couple more ingredients to it. But tell us a little bit about, Michelle, your background as far as the kind of foods that you're into.
Well, being a travel writer, traveling around the world, I like to focus on the local food and culture and the connection between cuisine and culture and how it all intermingles. And then when I come here, I like to hear the backstory of how Jeremy and some of the items on the Houmas House menu have evolved and their backgrounds. I find that very fascinating. And then I like to write about the history and the background of the food. So like yesterday, I spent the day in Gonzales learning how to make jambalaya. And I was at the jambalaya headquarters. How lucky can you get? And Wally taught me how to make jambalaya from scratch. So
yeah, no, but also because of your Jewish heritage, you focus a lot on Jewish cuisine as well,
yes,
right?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're going to be cooking some Jewish cookies after this, some rugelach, which I'm really excited about. So just while you were talking, I just did a couple things. We're just flavoring this. So I put a couple hits of Tabasco in here, get it as spicy as you like it more spicy, add a little more into it. And then I just started shaving some orange zest. if you want to shave me some, well, that was lemon zest, but some of this orange zest,
Right in the pot.
yeah, just shave that right in, and then I'm gonna actually come behind you. I'm gonna grab this knife here because we're just gonna shave some of that orange right in there. Perfect. Now, anytime we're shaving orange, so if you were to cut an orange in half, you would see the outside rind, you would then see the white part, then you would see the actual orange flesh, right? So you did this perfectly. We don't want to shave the white part. The white part is called the pith, and it's bitter. So, but you have this great orange flavor on the outside, so that's why we do that. And then we're gonna cut this in half, and then if you just want to plop that in there, and we're gonna just juice that bad boy right into here, and just squeeze all that in there. Now, as she's doing that, I just kind of want to tell you about the ham.
Both sides.
Yes, please. And so we got us a beautiful bone-in ham. Any full large ham would be fine. And then we already bought one already at the market, which is already sliced, that's what we want. If you didn't have it already sliced, we would want to score the ham because we really want this glaze to permeate and go all the way through the ham. And then we're just taking this root beer mixture and we're going to cook that down for about 20 minutes. It's going to marry all those flavors, and then it's going to start to thicken and concentrate those flavors and become a little bit syrupy. And of course, through the magic of TV, this is one we have. Let me just transfer this over here so you can see what it looks like. This is after it's reduced by about half its volume. You can see it's kind of thickened up. You can see, but it's also gotten much thicker, but it's also gotten very syrupy and thick, and it really concentrates those flavors.
And aromatic.
Oh, the
chops.
combination of those, the clove and that jalapeno, the sweet and the spicy, really has a nice play to it. Michelle, if you want to hand me that strainer right there, should appreciate it. So let me show you what we're going to do now. Because we did have items like cloves and that cinnamon stick, we want to strain this. So I just got me a little container, really simple. I'm just going to dump that right through here, and now we have this really concentrated glaze. Now, if you were to just take a spoon and try this straight up, it's going to be really strong. But that's actually what we want, because we want that flavor to really permeate through. And if you can grab that right there.
The brush.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that in a second. And the brown sugar. So now, how we're actually going to prepare the ham, it couldn't be easier, y'all. We're going to start sprinkling just a generous amount of brown sugar all over this and kind of pat this into the meat. I have an oven set to 350 degrees. Everybody with me so far? Y'all with me, guys? Any questions so far? Oh, shoot. We're doing a good job teaching, I guess. And then this is just water. I'm putting a little water in the pan because as this starts to bake, it keeps the bottom of the pan from drying up. And because as we heat the sugar, some of it's going to melt and it would kind of burn and overcook on the bottom of the pan if we didn't do that. And then I'm just going to take a little bit. Go ahead, Michelle.
Does it caramelize on the meat?
Oh, it's good. That's what we're trying to achieve here. It's just this beautiful caramelization. So even though we got all this sugar on top, and I'm just going to start to. What we're going to do is just every now and then this glaze is like a base. We're just going to base this ham all over with that beautiful root beer glaze, and then we're going to again pop it into a 350 degree oven for about an hour. Now, what I want you to do is, you can see we didn't use all that glaze. Every 15 minutes, I want you to open that oven door out and then come back with another round of that glaze. Grab this towel here, and this is what we're going to look like whenever it's all said and done.
Ooh.
Oh man, I wasn't even planning on this live reaction, but I love it. But yeah, take a look at that. You're really going to get a lot of that beautiful, because you have so much sugar. All that sugar is going to caramelize, meaning it's going to turn into a caramel on the outside. Do be careful though, definitely, but you're checking it every 15 minutes. You want it dark and a nice beautiful color, but you don't want it too dark. Sugar, if it is too hot, can burn, and if the sugar burns, well then it's going to be bitter, and we don't want that. But this is how we're going to serve this bad boy up. This is going to be one of the dishes we're serving on Thanksgiving. Jesse's waving her hand. You got a question, Jess?
Yeah, our friend Anthony is watching.
Oh,
Says hello.
Hey, Anthony.
He would like to know, when you put the ham in the oven, do you need to cover it?
Great question. Anthony writes, if you can't hear, Anthony writes, do we need to cover this with tinfoil? We do not. A couple reasons. We're looking to get that great crust on the outside. Also, think about it. This ham is already cooked. So it's not like we're cooking the ham. It's a raw piece of meat. It's not a raw piece of meat. It's already been cooked, so all we're looking to do is heat it up and get a good crust on the outside. So that's why it only takes an hour. If you're trying to cook a piece of meat this thick, it's going to take much longer than an hour if it was raw. But always save this juice or this glaze and come back and give it just a little bit of basting every time. What do we think, Michelle? How'd we do?
Well, first of all, it smells divine. I can't wait to taste it. But the other thing is, you know, you eat with your eyes. Look at this beautiful presentation Chef Jeremy did. You know, he didn't just plop it in the middle of a plate. It's ornamented, it's decorated with the fresh foliage, the kumquats, loquats, whatever. And it looks so pretty and so appetizing, it would make any table look beautiful.
Man, I need to keep you on the show all the time. I just love the compliments. You're going to make me blush. But there it is, guys. It couldn't be easier. A fantastic addition to any Thanksgiving table, root beer glazed ham. Michelle, absolutely a pleasure to have you on our show today. And we've enjoyed having you at Houmas House this last couple of weeks. What do you think about your experience here at Houmas House over the last week?
Well, I've sure enjoyed eating dinner and lunch here, having breakfast every morning. I'm staying in the cottages. I love it here. This is one of my favorite places in the world.
You heard it from the world-famous travel writer, Michelle Newman. Thank y'all guys so much for tuning in. Thanks to my studio audience for coming in as well. We'll be off next week because this time next week, 12 o'clock on Thursday, it's Thanksgiving. So we're not going to be live next week, but we'll see you the following week. Again, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.